People who posted their story on Reddit and the person in said story found it. How did it go? Deleted. Nothing crazy, but someone posted in our AWW about a cat that walked with them to the bus stop. I go through the comments and saw someone else was talking about their pet cat and how she would walk her little sister to the bus stop. I was going to share a similar story that I grew up with a cat that would walk me the school bus, then I looked at the username and noticed it was my sister's nickname. We just had some good laughs about the odds of finding each other. Edit. Here's a post. I have many stories, but the one I tell the most is the story of how I became a paraplegic. I won't retell it here because it is sort of lengthy and kind of gut-wrenching. Needless to say, I wasn't always handicapped. It was a vehicular accident. Turns out the guy that hit me uses Reddit. He's a cross-country semi-truck driver who I assume is now swamped with work thanks to the coronavirus. We kept in contact after my accident. He would check in on me at the hospital for the long stay I had and would regularly call me after I finally return home. Somehow he must have lost his phone or broke it without syncing contacts through Google, because when I called him on Thanksgiving last year it went to a different person who had no clue who I was. I felt bad because we had kind of become pen pals over the years. Well, I told my story on some subreddit a while ago. More of a watered down version, but essentially my story. I was direct messaged by someone here asking if I lived in such and such town, had a wife named wife's name, and if my name was Dudimo. Whoever it was had all that info, and I'm a pretty private person. Not even my wife knows my Reddit username, but she doesn't use Reddit. So I responded with, "Who is this?" I got a response back that made me grin from ear to ear because it's an inside joke between us. It said, "Tag, you're it. Call me sometime. 30 XXXX. I got my old pal back because I put my story up on Reddit. Edit. Stop being shy. Tony, if you can text me that you saw this, you can at least say hi to everyone. Second edit. Tony won't say hi because he sucks. That's right, Tony. You suck. Told you I did. Picture it. I was giving someone anonymous career advice on Reddit in the corporate office of company that I worked. Ed me and basically told me to stop. They saw my post and basically internet stalked me until they figured out who I was. They said they knew my identity in their DM. It was a super 1984 moment for me. Deleted. Well, I posted a homework question to an obscure subreddit. The only reply was a link to my class course page. That one as well as expected. A bit indirect, but outcome was life-changing. I made a post about dating a coworker, now current partner, on a forum for step-parents. He has a child. I do not. Then, a few months later I posted on our Amithediot about something unrelated, and the post blew up. My other coworker found the ATA post, and the post about dating a guy with a son, and told my partner and my boss. My partner was okay with it, although mildly upset that I didn't bring my concerns to him originally, but my boss told me that, while dating a coworker wasn't prohibited or wrong, but it would negatively impact my career. My partner was told congratulations, and got a promotion shortly after. I was demoted. It did negatively impact my career. Thanks, Dan. Sean. You'll suck. My partner. I both quit a few months later. Not exactly a story, but I posted a picture of a cat from my college campus. Someone from the same college identified the cat. We met a week later and became really good friends. A few years ago I made a comment on a post about families on the day before Thanksgiving where I mentioned that one of my cousins stabbed his mother to death. My son, whose screen name I didn't know, replied, "Tell them about the cousin who killed a prostitute." A stranger popped in and asked, "How many of your family are here?" To which my son replied, "I dunno. We'll find out tomorrow at Thanksgiving." Found my ex's profile. He wrote about sorting out feelings with a friend, not me, that he always liked. They always had a Ross Rachel quality to them, but reading his posts made so much sense. My sister posted about her abusive ex, and he saw it. But the thing is, it wasn't trending, so the only way he could see it was if he went to her profile and found it. Then instead of sorting it out himself, he had his mother call her and ask her to stop embarrassing her poor boy. Told a story about a guy I knew in high school that I hadn't spoken to in a few years. He saw it, reached out to me. We talked about how we were mutually attracted to each other in high school. He was broken up with his long-term girlfriend, so we hooked up once, and then he went back to her toxic crap again. Oh well. I got to scratch that itch. He still has my copy of a book that a friend of mine put a handwritten note on the front page of, though. I've offered to send him a new copy of his choosing and pay for shipping if he'll send it back, but he ghosted me. Maybe he'll see this post too and send me good omens. I once posted on games about how I worked for a game company on a localization and how I wasn't paid fully. I went into great detail about what I exactly worked on and which company it was. Smaller indie company. My post got taken down for some bullcrap reason after a few hours, and coincidentally I was contacted by the company through Skype on the same day. After not hearing from them for quite a while and got my full pay, I gave them information about my colleague, who also didn't get his full pay, and he got paid fully too, which was good money for him, since he lives in Poland. Edit. Since this unexpectedly blew up, I wanted to clarify that I'm not saying that the company got the post pulled from Reddit. There is zero evidence for them being involved in that. I asked them personally about the payment before posting anything online, and even waited for quite a while. I wasn't even expecting the remaining payment, since a few months had already passed. It just suddenly came as a nice surprise. I found that a friend of mine posted about me on Am I the asshole? He is a really close friend of mine, and I forgot to wish him on his birthday for the second time. He got a little angry. Didn't say that to me though. He still doesn't know that I know. I felt awful about forgetting it. I was in that phase that I had no clue what day or date it is. But I will make it a point to not disappoint him in future. Not my post, but still a good story. I saw a trending post on some relationship sub about a guy whose stepfather was abusing his sister. I didn't give it much attention at the time. The story went on and on until the abuser got arrested or something, because some random guy called the cops on him or something. Weird story. Long story short, Op was my younger brother's internet friend from the other side of the world, and it was my brother who somehow managed to anonymously get the guy arrested. Can anything make you prouder than your siblings getting a Florida man arrested? Vented about a friend. Said friend had apparently been snooping my Reddit account. She has a long history of going through people's devices to snoop and find info. I hadn't given her my Reddit account. She decided based on that post to ghost me. I reached out a couple times, and then she blew up at me and said all kinds of awful things. But honestly, good riddance. She used to tell me about snooping on her husband and other people. That stuff always made me uncomfortable. But I tried to be supportive, because we'd been friends for so long, and she always had some kind of justification. But she has always been surrounded by drama and conflict, and we had had a falling out before. I should have known it would come around to me again. I had another throwaway account where I posted stories about my mill. One weekend when visiting her, she started repeating things almost verbatim from the comments and stories. I think it was just a power play to let me know she had found the stories. I played it cool. Pretended I didn't recognize anything she was saying, and then promptly deleted the account. Started a new one and changed the easily guessable if you know me password on my phone. It didn't make her stop her crafty behavior. But now that she knows I'm onto her manipulation tactics, she tries to be sneakier about them and work harder to get my husband on her side. Shoulder shrug. It was not great, but not terrible. Posted in our relationship advice maybe a year ago about how I'd been out of town and let my little sister house sit. Upon returning it was **extremely** evident that she had sex with someone in my bed while I was away. Just nasty. Nasty stuff. I arrived home late at night to disgusting sheets and my bed pulled back from the wall. Not great. Well, I sent her some texts to express my dissatisfaction. So she promptly freaked out and also posted to Reddit. Some people connected the two and theorized that she posted hoping I'd see it and take pity, which I too believe. Downside is that we know each other's account names now. Upside is that we got through it. Not terrible. I had made an entitled parent post and the Ep's son found it and showed it to his mommy. She then came knocking on my door, asking me to take it down. My Reddit username was my IRL name. I told her that I couldn't do that, and she threatened to report me to police for putting her in something she didn't give consent to. I told her it didn't matter, because no real names or location were mentioned. She stormed off in a hurry. I never to this day have dealt with her again. Not exactly me. Kinda opposite. But I broke up with my boyfriend after I finally stopped ignoring my feelings that there was a reason my boyfriend was emotionally unavailable. I saw his deleted Reddit post a week after asking relationship advice if he should text his ex from 3 years ago because he just realized he'll never love someone the way he did her. That was pretty ducked up to read but also relieving. But you know what they say, don't go looking for things you don't want offended it. Words. It received a very positive reaction from the person being described in the account. The post concerned a homeless man that I helped get a job and a new beginning on life. Every detail matched. So he figured out the rest from there and was glad that his story might give some degree of hope to others. On a different account I posted about some relationship troubles I was having during my first few years of college. Basically my girlfriend had moved down to California to go to hers, and I stayed where I was to go to mine. Being fairly used to sleeping in the same bed, we used to fall asleep over Skype next to each other. But around second quarter I had woken up to her masturbating while taking pictures. What turned out to be video. To someone. With Skype still on. I asked for help. Most people were creeped out by the sleeping over Skype thing. It was very unhelpful. Turns out she didn't see it. One of the people she was recording for did. Turns out she was camgirling for spending cash. He showed her profile and everything, and yeah, it was her. She used to do this I'm cuckolding him thing for them talking about me. So apparently the stories were creepily similar and he told her his next paid session with her, and she came to talk to me. We managed another quarter with me feeling that out, but I just couldn't. I don't share well. Dude was bro as duck though. He loved that I posted the story. It was about how I grabbed his ass to make his crazy girlfriend jealous. I'm a guy and also had a girlfriend at the time. Nothing special. Worked at a lab that got some national press. A coworker commented they worked on it. I chimed in. That O2 worked on it. They are the only coworker that knows much main account name. Very badly. So in high school, one of my teachers came I'm on Halloween dressed up as Dipper from Gravity Falls, and I posted a pic of it on the show's subreddit. IDK how? But BuzzFeed found it and stole my photo for one of their articles about cool teachers. He thought it was cool and wanted to find who posted it so he could thank them for making him viral. BuzzFeed did link my Reddit account, so he found it pretty fast. He also found all my posts about how I was depressed and hated my body. Oh, and a suggestive cosplay pic of myself in a bikini. I was 18. Don't worry. He actually ended up talking to me about the whole depression thing, which was nice. But imagine walking into a high school class and hearing the phrase "you the f*** pulled this." I went through a Reddit account and want to talk to you about it. A few years ago I posted about a Tinder date I had. I guess she was also into Reddit and found the post. She thought it was funny, responded in the comments, and we had a good real life laugh about it. Years ago on a different account I shared a story about this dude while overreacting to my BFF telling him she wasn't interested. Me, being young and foolish, had a username that I used everywhere else. He found the story, recognized the name, and showed up in my DMs. He was not happy. I deleted my account. and made a new one straight after with a brand new name I had never used before. A few years later, my BFF's boyfriend at the time found a story I had posted about a D&D campaign we were both in. I had to delete that account too. I've not had good luck with this. I commented on an AskReddit post about the most ducked up thing you ever walked in on. I was really late to the party and didn't think anyone would see my comment about a wild thing I walked in on during a house party my roommates and I threw. I was happy when the post started getting attention. Then it started getting thousands of upvotes. My friend who was my roommate at the time of the story asked in a group chat, my old roommates are all in, are any of you bud boy on Reddit? They quickly figured out it was me based on my Reddit history. The result was I had to panic delete all my porn free posts out of embarrassment. Now all my friends know my Reddit account. I find it very freeing as I used to keep it private, but I just don't care anymore. That comment ended up being my highest ever with like 12k upvotes. I still don't get why it got so many, especially since I was so late to post. It wasn't even that ducked up of an event, but I guess it was pretty ducked up to walk in on asterisk, so maybe it was the perfect comment. I once posted a story about me being exceptionally bad at basketball when I was a child, 15 years earlier, and someone commented with a link saying, "Was this you?" The link went to the same story told from the perspective of someone else on my team. He posted it an hour before I did. This was also the second time I ever smoked weed, so my mind was just shattered. Edit. So the story was that, while I was in the bathroom, one of the coaches said to the rest of my team, "If that kid makes a basket, we're all going out for ice cream." I didn't know that part, obviously. So a guy passed me the ball and I so surprised. I shot it immediately, and it was a swish. But it was the wrong basket. All the kids on my team turned to the coach and were like, "Does that count?" He thought about it and then said no. Edit. Quarantine has made you people very stick hungry. Edit. Just remembered. It was a 3-pointer. 2. I posted about a smelly neckbed ex that tried to keep all my things when we broke up, and how I had to escape with my things when he finally went to sleep after 3 days of non-stop gaming. He sent me some messages asking if I posted that and why I would say that. I didn't answer him, logged out of the account, and kept on keeping on. Keith, if you see this, you never brushed your teeth or showered, we never had sex, because your stick was ducking nasty. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for the way you treated your mom and sister. Get your crap together, dude. A little more than a year ago I've posted about a girl that I started dating, and due to sheer luck she found my post. I've never been happier in my life and we're engaged now. Posted on a small subreddit that was pretty closely knit about my family situation and asking for help and advice on attending an event while dealing with their vitriol. Didn't even mention them by name. And I was living halfway across the country at the time, struggling to make ends meet, and I didn't really want to piss them off unnecessarily and cause myself more headaches. Got a call later that day from one of my parents screaming in holy murder that how dare you post such horrible things about us. Take that down right now. Turns out they had gotten my flying monkey little brothers to figure out my account based on a cursory mention of the online community in question and spy on my online activity. I don't like my family very much. I found a girl from my school mention my real name and said she would want me to bathe her income. Utter freak out. I helped pull a guy out from a car wreck where he was trapped underneath the car face down. I had limited knowledge of how the wreck happened etc, but the date and description were undeniable. He reached out to me on Reddit, and I was too scared to go meet up with him. I was just glad to know he was okay. I posted a story about this awesome ski buddy I had in college and hadn't seen in 20 years. He saw it, we chatted, and we ended up skiing together a few days later, and we keep in touch now and became really good friends again. My kids are on Reddit. If they find me, they will yank my chain me in person, because their worst possible outcome is that I will find out asterisk THEIR asterisk usernames. This was a classic. So this is sort of related but a little backwards. This guy I was with for a year or so went back to being a good little Mormon right after the relationship, and married a good little Mormon girl less than a year later. In the temple no less. When we were together he was very into sex and BDSM. Like, everyday kind of thing. Her username is the same name she uses in all her public stuff, so when I ran across it, I recognized it and snooped. And found multiple posts about her husband's lack of interest in sex. I was mildly tempted to say something but I didn't.